By the spring of 1586, the greatest threat to the colony was no longer the wilderness. Beyond those trees, Chief Wingina had already made a decision that would change everything. Now calling himself Pemisapan, he believed the English had to be driven from the land. Instead of open battle, he chose a far more dangerous strategy: starvation. The blockade worked. With every passing day, food inside the colony became harder to find. To survive, small groups of English soldiers left the safety of the fort in search of food. It was exactly what Pemisapan had hoped for. Separated into small parties, the colonists had become easier to isolate and far more vulnerable. Before the plan could unfold, Ralph Lane received a warning. He learned that Pemisapan intended to trap isolated English foraging parties before they could return to the fort. Lane chose not to wait. Instead, he launched a preemptive expedition that would permanently reshape relations between the English and the Algonquian people. Before the planned blockade could be carried out, Lane moved first. The event ended, forever changing the balance of power in the region. With their leader gone, long-standing alliances between the English and the Algonquian people were changed forever. Then, just days later, unfamiliar sails appeared beyond the coast. For a moment, Lane feared the fleet belonged to Spain. Then came an unexpected relief. The ships carried English colors. The fleet belonged to Sir Francis Drake, returning after months of raiding Spanish shipping in the Caribbean. Drake offered Lane a chance to leave Roanoke behind and search for a better place to build the colony. But before those plans could begin, the Atlantic turned against them. A violent hurricane swept across the coast, tearing apart every plan they had made. With their ships damaged and their hopes fading, the search for a new settlement came to an end. With no supplies, no safe future, and no better settlement in sight, Lane made the hardest decision of all. In June 1586, the English abandoned Roanoke and sailed home with Sir Francis Drake. Ralph Lane would never return to North America. Less than a year later, Sir Walter Raleigh would send 118 men, women and children back to Roanoke, unknowingly beginning one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries.